Welcome to the Local Farmer Podcast, where we invite you to join us on our farming journey. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or you're just getting started, we are here to learn and grow together. Our goal is to help encourage, inspire, and equip the local farmer. So let's grab our boots and let's dig in. All right, well, welcome to this week's episode of the Local Farmer Podcast. I am Brandon.
I'm John.
And welcome. We are excited because we're going to be talking about chickens. Chickens. The gateway drug into homesteading and farming for all of those people.
Not me.
I was a victim. I was a victim of this, and this is where I'm at today. So, hey, before we dive in, make sure that you like and you subscribe to all of our platforms. That way you know when the latest episode comes out. Right, John?
That's right. Like, subscribe, share us. Man, we need you.
Yeah, we do. In order to keep going, we need people to care about what we're talking about. But
yeah, I mean, we could have conversation without sharing it if nobody likes it. So,
you know, it could be something that we go back and watch. So, you know what? If you want to join us, come on with the ride. So chickens, let's talk about chickens. And you know, why chickens? Number one, why have chickens? But diving into even some funny things that have happened with chickens. And, you know, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, John, was because we had a death. We had a death in the family. So about, 4 days ago, I was out mowing my yard and noticed just in the run, you know, one just not doing well. And yeah, so didn't make it through the night, but it is what it is.
So
What? We're talking about death of a chicken, and you're laughing over there, John.
I can't help it. It's on.
What? Why are we laughing?
I don't know. It's not that the chicken died. I'm not. It's sad. I'm sorry. Super sad.
You need to be, because like
I called you. I called you. I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm sitting here in the bathroom. I'm like, "Dude, really?" And you're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What are you doing?" You said you had this chicken in there.
Yeah. So,
whoa! I almost hung up at that point. I was like
you thought maybe I meant something else,
dude. I thought, all right, Brandon's went off the rocker.
Yeah. So my wife, like I said, I was mowing the grass and noticed the situation, and I was on a time crunch anyway. So, dang it, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, I don't have to deal with this. And I called my wife. Actually, I took a picture and sent it to my wife, and she's like, put her in Epsom salt, like make this concoction that I'm sending you. And I'm like,
yeah, you said they got this chicken soaking in salt. And I'm thinking, what? What are you doing?
In Epsom salt. And my wife was like, you know, let's just try. We got to try. And I'm like, they ain't bouncing. This girl ain't coming back. Like it's very obvious. It's just a matter of time. And yeah, so we've done that in the past where like they're egg bound, and they're having issues with that. So you'll take them and put them in a container with Epsom salts, and it works. Apparently,
Really?
it helps.
Well, we never got into. I left you alone with your chicken in the bathroom.
You did.
So you never explained to me. Like you said, it was dying. So I was like, okay.
Yeah,
but I didn't know. So that's why you did that. You thought maybe it was egg, had an egg stuck or something.
Yeah. We didn't know. I mean, like it was hot that day, and the first thing I did was I checked her water to make sure that they all had water, which they did, and that was unfortunate. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Death happens.
Chickens have a short lifespan.
They do, and I think this one already had some issues with being egg bound before, and things regarding that. So, I think the frustrating thing with that is you don't know. You don't know necessarily like what caused it. Everyone else is fine. Like all the other chickens are fine.
So it's not anything like going through the flock and you go.
No, I mean there are diseases that do that, but I don't think it had anything to do that. But we'll never know.
Good deal.
We'll never know. But yeah, we jumped right into let's talk about death of a chicken. I think, yeah.
I said this podcast would be easy.
Yeah.
There's enough chicken stories.
Yeah, we've got a lot of chicken stories, and I want to share one with you about the first interaction I had with like doing anything with a chicken, and that was in Africa. Oh gosh, it was
Oh.
probably like four. You've heard this story, so
Well, not from you.
okay. Well, good. I'm glad that
It was
not from me. Someone else told you this story.
it was such a horrific story. Yeah, it got shared.
Okay. So I'm so glad that the few people that were a part of this in Africa have it's made it past me to you.
It could almost make national news. Maybe I don't know. We could.
Maybe. So we get to Africa. This is probably my second trip to Africa, and my wife and I now we're planning another trip. In a couple of months, we're going to Africa again. We've been about 6 times now to Africa, and to this village about 5 times, and hopefully we'll get it. We'll get.
You said you're going to take it. Maybe try to get a podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I've got some really good relationships there, so
That'd be
hopefully we'll be able to get a good friend of mine that lives there on the podcast to talk about just the difference between, farming here and farming there. I think that would be just something that people would really enjoy. So anyway, we get there and I make a joke, and the joke is, I really want to kill something. Like I want to kill a chicken. I don't know why. Okay, it sounds wrong even just saying it back. Like
this
like,
episode's going sideways.
I know, but hey, I really want to cook my own food. And little to my surprise, they were having conversations with like some families. That when we're there, we do a thing. This is a mission trip, by the way, and we go with our church. And
So
yeah, go ahead.
well, I'm not trying to interrupt the story. I'm just trying to get a mindset here.
Okay, go ahead.
And let our listeners
Yeah, go ahead.
imagine this. So you're on a church trip,
Yep.
and you said you want to kill something.
It just felt like something to say. I don't know. Like it was like, you know what? Hey, here's why, John. Because what I was getting into before, you
I interrupted
rudely interrupted, was this is a mission trip, and one of the things that we do is called Day in the Life, and that is where you go live with a family for an entire day. So you do whatever they do, you do. If they go garden, if this is so sidetracked right here, but if they sit and watch soap operas that have been translated 3 different times into a different language that you have no idea, and you're drinking tea with the lady that is hosting you, that's what you do. And I'm telling you, I was enthralled with this soap opera, by the way. I was like, he's leaving her.
That's brutal. That's
he's,
brutal.
He's leaving her.
Brutal.
But anyway, so to say that, like, that is a little bit of the context. So we're living the day out, and I was like, hey, put me with a family that we're going to cook a chicken.
Okay.
And they did. And so my wife and I went, along with the one other person on the trip that you happened to talk to was there as well. And they were like, hey, which person wanted to kill a chicken? And I'm like, I did, but like, why? And so they partnered me up with a lady that was like, hey, we're having chicken for lunch.
Nice.
So I get there, and she's like, hey, which one? Like that one looks good. I'm like, okay. So we're doing this. Like the whole time, I'm still not in this mindset like it's actually happening. So they give me a knife, and they're like, this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to put the chicken down. You're going to stand on the wings. You're going to lift the head up, and you're going to take the knife, and you're going to pull the head tight, and then you're just going to go cut the head off. And just one. Done. That's not what happened. I don't know if they were playing a trick. They said they didn't, but they didn't sharpen the knife. And I'm already nervous. I hadn't taken a life before, and so this is like my first, time ever doing anything like this. And so I grab the head. I'm like already shaking. I got the knife. I'm shaking, and I go to cut. And this is not it's a stick basically. It's not a knife. Like if they're telling me that they sharpen this knife, I'm calling you out on that. You didn't. You set me up for failure. I try and nothing happens. So I'm just sawing away. I'm sawing away. And then I finally detach the head from the body. Are we going to get flagged for talking about this?
I don't know. I was just thinking that. I was like,
well, I'm gonna still go on with the story whether or not, but and so now I'm sitting here. I've just taken the life, and you're supposed to stand on the chicken because
You don't flop around.
yeah, they don't want to fly. Yeah, so I just stand there holding the head of the chicken, and uh, I wouldn't say I'm in shock. I would say like I guess it was a form of shock. The fact that I just did it, and they were like, "Okay, you can drop the head," and I couldn't. I couldn't. I like I was so in fear or whatever that like my hand was like they had to pry it out like, and same thing with the knife, they had to pry it out of my hand. um and and the story goes on with my wife. She defeathers it like it's not a big deal at all.
So
Like
she should have cut the chicken.
she
She
should have
probably.
done it. She's in the medical field, so like some certain things like that doesn't it's not squeamish. Like she's not squeamish about that, but like is that even a word, squeamish?
It is now.
Okay, thank you. So anyway, that was my first interaction with the chicken. When it came to, hey, I don't want to get chickens. So fast forward a couple years later, my wife was like, "Hey, let's get chickens," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever. We'll get some chickens. I don't know really why, but we will." Someone gave us a coop. We redid it. She found this Pinterest idea, so we did that, and we made it all nice and everything. So we started with 6 chickens. And then we ended up with 6 more, and then we ended up with more, and then we were at someone's house, and they were like, "Hey, we have this like special chicken," and we ended up with that. We ended up with like 17 chickens at this point.
How many you got now?
16 chickens.
Oh wow.
So we were at 17. We lost one because
Which is not a lot
No.
in perspective, but
no, it's not. But we it's crazy because chickens are funny in a lot of ways. Like I was very delicate with our chickens, very delicate. Like if I picked them up, it was, I'd pick them up and kind of hold them or whatever. And then I go out to this lady. My wife was, oh, that's what it was. I got her 3 silkies chickens, and being the husband I am, I didn't ask if they were male or female. I just assumed that they were all female. And
probably got all roosters.
all of a sudden we hear crowing going on outside, and one of the silkies was a rooster. I'm like, oh man, okay, is it wrong to have a rooster? It's fine, whatever. And then probably like 4 or 5 days later, that rooster is in a different area, but there's another rooster crowing, and so 2 out of the 3 of those chickens were they were roosters, and unfortunately, the other one. Okay, it just makes me sound like a bad person, but like this, like something happened to the female, Silky. It was paralyzed, so I had to take care of it. So we ended up with just 2 roosters, and so my wife had put something out there, or something along those lines of like, "Hey, I've got a rooster, just want to get rid of it." And there was a lady that was like, "Hey, I'll take them." And so we went out to her property, and she actually wanted to trade, and that turned into us getting like 3. I don't know what they are, some black chickens, and
Are they the solid black ones with the
Yeah.
black legs? And
I think they have black legs.
somebody, so I had a friend of mine used to raise those black ones, and he said the meat was black, like they're
Yeah.
jet black. Everything's black: face, head, neck, gizzard, legs. Is yours? You got some of those?
I don't know if they have black feet. I think they do. I don't know. They are. I mean, those are the ones that you don't want to get out though. Like they'll go up in the tree and kind of roost and,
No.
and do its thing. So we ended up getting chickens from them, and like anyway. All that being said, we now have 16 chickens, 1 rooster. So
That was before the death this week.
that
Or
was
after?
before the death.
So now
No,
you got
17.
15?
I had 17. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep count of you. Keep
Yeah,
track
that's
of you.
good. Yeah, keep me in check. Now, I will say this: we're learning with chickens. It was really one of those things where when we got chickens, that kind of solidified, hey, we want to do more. And I think there's a lot of people that there's that one animal that you get that makes you go down the path of like, oh, I want more. Some it's a cow or a horse or whatever it may be.
Horse.
Horse for you.
Yeah, that's expensive problem. But is there
Yeah.
different species? So you got different species of them.
I do.
Not all the same. Is there a difference in how you feed those, or
If there
what they give
is,
you? And do all of them lay eggs?
yeah, they do actually. Yeah,
Does the eggs, are they different?
they are. They're a little different. I mean, majority of them are. I think you think I know this because we were talking about chickens today, and I would have became prepared. But like a golden comet, I think that's the name of majority of ours. We have like golden comets. We have whatever those black ones are. I don't know what they are. We have silky. We have a Cornish something.
The Cornish, is that a meat chicken?
No, it's tiny, bro. It has like a fro.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually like the coolest looking chicken ever. Her name, we named them in the way that we named. Well, we didn't name 6 of them. We were like, at this point we didn't want to name them, but we do have like little anklets that they wear, and that's how we know what their names are. And our kids like that. Our kids like naming the chickens, and but Lulabelle is the one that we're talking about right now, the cool little fro and all that stuff. And then Cinnamon is she's a silky. So yeah, we have different types of chickens. They do lay different type of eggs. The Cornish, I'm probably saying this wrong, by the way. I don't even know what she is. Whatever she is, she lays white eggs. All the other ones lay brown eggs.
Okay.
So
We got one. Well, we've got one that lays white eggs, and she's a white chicken.
okay,
And all the rest of them are red, and they lay brown eggs.
okay,
I don't know what the breeds are of hers, because that's not my thing.
yeah.
So I can tell you a little
Please.
secret about me.
Oh, it's a secret.
Well, it's not, but my girls make fun of me. I'm coming out right here. I have a phobia of things that fly. So I don't like birds. I definitely don't like bats. Like when the bats come out, I'm going inside.
Who likes bats? Who likes bats?
Our friend,
like, I don't think
our
that's gonna
friend's
be.
Vince. Our friend Vince.
Oh yeah,
He loves them.
yeah, but
He's weird.
but
Yeah,
he does that for a living,
Well,
like the
he does.
outdoorsy stuff.
He keeps saying he's going to bring me one, and I said, "You better." You're
But
gonna get shot.
I'm gonna run from a bat.
Yeah, oh yeah. So I don't even like butterflies though, dude. Like they freak me out.
Okay,
I turn into a ninja when a butterfly or something. I don't know
why?
It's weird.
That's
I
a
don't know.
butterfly,
Why
bro.
Are you afraid of snakes or spiders?
I wouldn't. If there was a snake sitting right there, I wouldn't be like, "Oh my gosh, let's run away." No,
But
I'm
if a snake
I'm
dropped
intrigued.
out of my ceiling on your lap,
That's not fair. Like, if
Well-
anything, if a gorilla, well, if a bunny jumped on your lap right now, and of course there's a surprise.
yeah, but okay, so flying things that can't fly are a surprise. A butterfly will smack you upside the
you're-
face.
Oh my goodness! You're telling me that if we were sitting here right now and a butterfly that you saw fly in, and you just watched it, and it came close to you, you would get up and move,
I'd swat that thing.
bro. So you're telling us bees are out for our property? Are bees out? How deep does this go?
So my wife says, and I say this too, it's more bad flyers. So butterflies, they can't fly good either. But like a hummingbird will get in the garage here, and I'm fine with the hummingbird because it's not a bad flyer. I know, right? So
No.
that being
It's
said,
just, you suck at flying, so I don't like you. I don't get it.
it is. It's probably. I promise you, it's a phobia. Snake can drop out of the ceiling. I'll be like,
So I get it. Because chickens are like terrible
They
looking
suck.
flyers. They suck at flying.
Yes, they're horrible. And the other day, so my wife's got 5 chicks now because she, because they do die. They don't have a long lifespan.
Yeah.
And you can't ever tell. You'll go up there one day and one's laying there. You don't know why. Yesterday he's laying eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have time to take the baby chicks out. Can you get them? Because we have to introduce them. Like, have you had issues with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like they pick on them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think the term pecking order is,
Oh,
correct
yeah.
me if I'm wrong, but the pecking order probably comes from chickens. Like there is a pecking order. Like they will peck the garbage out of somebody.
Yeah,
you know?
so we learned that the hard way because we were like, we don't want to do the little chicks anymore. And so I'm friends with some people that have a zoo and rescue.
Yeah.
And I said, y'all rescue stuff all the time. Y'all got everything over there. Y'all have chickens? Oh, man, we got so many chickens. It's unbelievable. And I was like, y'all have any egg layers? And they're like, yeah. And I said, well, my wife, she's got some that are, her little flock, I guess, was getting low. She had 2 left. And I said, we don't want to do chicks again. If y'all got, y'all got more than you can deal with, and we'll take some. So he's like, okay, come over here. So I was like, how many you want? I was like, I'll take 4. I brought 4 back. And next thing we know, we were down to 1 chicken because they killed each other.
Yeah.
But the white one that I said we had, that's the one left that we got from them. But anyway, back to my story. I had to grab those little weird bony things and take them out and into the enclosure they were in and put them in the enclosure but in a kennel so they're with the big ones but not with the big ones, and weird. I don't like it. I don't like them.
I'm just dumbfounded about the idea that
I didn't tell you this story beforehand because I was like, I'm going to bring that up during the thing, but if I
this
tell you
isn't a
beforehand...
story, it's a concern. What? Like flying things?
Just bad flyers.
I just love that you fault them for being a bad flyer. Like that's like why I don't like you.
I'm honest.
To a fault.
And a bat is the worst flyer. Have you ever watched one of those things?
I don't.
And they're blind. They can't even see you. And people are like, ooh. And I was going to face my fear one time. This was 20-something years ago when I lived on that property that we're farming. I was at the pond, and I'd always quit fishing. I'd always, like, come home, do whatever I had to do. And then when fishing's good, in twilight, go down there and fish, and there's some fish in that pond, and there's a big bass, or was. I don't know if there still is, but I'd go down and fish. Of course, throw them all back. But I'd leave when the bats come in. And I thought, man, I'm mid-20s. I can't be scared of a bat.
Yeah.
I was going to face my fear. I promise one flew right by my head and touched me. And I had to go pick my rod and reel up the next morning.
Oh my goodness.
I threw it down.
They're not vampire. Like they're
They
not.
are. They got teeth. Have you not seen a picture of them?
Yeah.
I'm
you,
convinced.
you make it sound like bats are so common, like cows or dogs. Like
Dude,
I
they
know,
come out.
I know they're around, but like, okay, you can't see it right now, but there's a fly. Are you scared of that?
No, he's nothing. He can fly. He knows how to fly.
Oh my gosh, this is Here's the thing: we need to both agree on this.
I don't do chickens. That's what we need to agree.
No. We need to do an episode where we both have to face our fears.
It's like a fear factor episode.
It's but it about animals, okay? Something to do with like animals, but a bat, bro. I just don't.
I'm not facing a bat.
Do they
I tried.
At the Little Ponderosa Zoo, do they have bats there?
No.
I was gonna say because if they had like a bat room, then we can do like a whole like, you have to face your fear for X amount of time. I do like that idea.
No.
Well,
Not happening.
We'll have to revisit this in a whole nother conversation.
Dude, the chickens weird me out. When I have to get their eggs, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm watching them. Make sure they don't like take off.
Well, I get that. I mean, what about
They'll whack
emus?
me in
What
the
about
head.
emus?
They don't fly.
They don't fly, but are you telling me you're not like are you fine with them?
No, but not the same reason.
Okay, I'm not fine with them either. I wouldn't mind having emus. The problem I have with emus is like we went on this like auto safari. If you don't know what an auto safari is like someone had a piece of property and they have a lot of different exotic animals and they're like, hey, at your own risk, drive your car in
On
here.
that, they've got to have people try to get their car repaired from those places. 'Cause they're
Absolutely. I had a
ridiculous.
bison just, I mean, put a nice size scratch, but you sign a paper. Anyway, if you've never gone to one, this is a bad like marketing thing right now because I'm not making them sound good. Try them out. I mean, they're great, but
Take your old car.
yeah, take your old car. But anyway, we went and man, my wife has this bucket. I actually had like, I think I videoed this, but like it comes in and like just starts pecking. I'm telling you, like they're the weirdest looking things. I mean, they do. I mean, if you look at their feet, they're like chicken feet, but they're like maximized to like huge. I mean, they're scary. I
Yeah.
will say that.
So we're real good friends with the zoo.
Yeah.
And so I went over there one day, and one of the guys, we're going to have him on the show. It's going to be awesome. But
Yeah.
he's over there, and he's one of the owners, and he's in chaps, which are torn from his belt, and he's holding them up, and his hand's bleeding. And I mean, he's just like, looked like he'd just been rolled. And I'm like, what happened to you? And he was like, man, we had to catch that emu. And it beat him up.
So no go on emus.
Their eggs are good. Have you ever ate one?
No,
of
I
their eggs?
haven't.
So I've got one of them before, and they're like 9. They're the equivalent of like 9 chicken eggs, big ones.
Really?
And they're green.
But do they taste good?
They do.
Or they're exotic, but like they taste good.
They taste about the same, but they're a little bit different texture.
Yeah.
They're a little more fluffy.
Okay.
But you have to break the shell with a hammer. Like you can't just like crack this thing on the side
Yeah.
of the pan. Not happening.
So this is more for like you have people over. You can't,
Yeah, and
I
I've
mean,
done it when I've had like a lot of like when did we do it? I don't know. We had a bunch of people over or something.
Yeah.
They spent the night. We were going to make breakfast, and I was like, "Hey, can I get one of them emu eggs?" So yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty cool. Something different.
Well, back on the subject of chickens and
Yeah,
leaving the fear.
We could do
zone
emus
that we
and
have.
do eggs.
We could. Like, how often do they lay eggs? Do you know?
I
any
don't know. I'd
information?
have to check into that.
Okay.
but
Well. Okay.
that'd be kind of novelty. You know,
Yeah.
in everything we do, we're trying to do like something a little different than the regular farmer.
I
and
like
everything
it.
Else.
I do like it. Hear that? I do like it. But we just got done talking about like how fearful we are of emus. You told a story about how like an
Dude.
emu just destroyed a guy,
Yeah, and
and they're scary looking.
horses are scared of them too. So if a horse is scared of
But you just got done saying that you. Well, what if we did? What if we had them? Like, who's gonna feed them? I know my wife's not getting out there and feeding them.
I'll throw my kid in there. She'll feed them.
Okay. Anyway, back on the subject of chickens, a long rabbit trail that we just went down.
Yeah, it was good though.
I'll say, I do like chickens. I think what happened with chickens for us was it gave us responsibility. It gave us something to go out, take care of something. We get a benefit with eggs with that as well. And I will say we have so many eggs that we're I'm building a farm stand. I've got this like old trailer that it was a smoker that just was rotted out, so we just ripped that off, and I'm going to build a farm stand to go right outside our house, and we're going to do kind of the honor system, but it's a way to really get rid of our eggs.
Right.
Sell
That's
them,
awesome.
farm fresh eggs, sourdough, candles, all that different type of stuff, and we'll put that out there.
And that trailer's perfect
Yep.
for it too.
Yeah. It was actually the length of it. I mean, there's so much you could do with it.
Yeah.
My wife just last night was like, "Get this thing up and going. We have too many eggs. We have like,
So
realistically, we probably have like 20 dozen eggs."
if you're
dozen.
starting out, if you're watching this and you're starting out, or maybe you don't do chickens because you're scared of them, they are very easy to market.
Yeah. Well,
Because
yeah,
we've got people, and they're mostly people that go to church with us or friends of the family or whatever. And they're just always, "You got any eggs? You got me another dozen ready? You got me another?" I mean,
they're simple. Like, when,
yeah. And we're not really. I mean, we don't have that many, so we're not making money on them.
Yeah.
We're but we still got more than we could eat.
I have 17 a day.
17 eggs.
Well,
all of them lay.
Let's take a step back. I just got done saying we have 17 in a rooster. Okay.
You only get
Realistically, we have about 13 to 15 eggs a day.
Yeah.
A day.
Yeah. And do you eat a lot of eggs?
Tell me how many times. Ask me how many times do I bake with eggs or I cook with it. We don't. Like we do eat eggs. Like we'll do breakfast as like a dinner. Like we'll do that every now and then. but like we don't need that many eggs. So I mean, the farm stands is a great idea to be able to, get rid of them in a way where people could stop by, get farm fresh eggs. We don't have to go out of our way to do it.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can put it out there, like you said, the honor system. I mean, if they're going to steal some eggs from you, I mean, come on. But they might. But if they
Yeah,
do, whatever.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
if it gets to a point where it's like, hey, man, I'm not giving these things away, and these. I
Right.
mean, I don't know, but
Obviously, or if
yeah,
some kids aren't getting them and then throwing them right back at your house or something, that would be bad.
that won't be. No, that would not be. That wouldn't be nice.
No.
But yeah, chickens. I think chickens are they're easy to take care of. There's something to give your kids a chore to do. It's an easy chore.
And they're very cheap.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, they are cheap. They're like $2 for a chick.
yeah. And most cities
Mm-hmm.
will even let you have chickens in the city limits.
Yeah, I think.
Clinton just passed that.
Yep, I was about to say that Clinton just passed that. Where you can, it's a certain amount though, isn't it? Isn't it
Yeah,
like
I mean, I
six
don't
or
think
something?
they wouldn't let you move in over there with 17 of them. But
No, no.
I think it's just a personal
Yeah,
couple backyard chickens. I don't know the number though, so I'm not going to try to quote it. But
yeah.
I was never a big egg person. I became an egg person.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. There really is a difference between these eggs and store bought. And also, like you said, most eggs are brown anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely do you have a chicken that lays a white egg. I mean, there are certain ones, but every egg in the store is white
Yeah.
because they bleach them or whatever, I guess. That's what they say. But I've tried all kinds of different egg recipes.
Mm-hmm.
I just made, and I did a video on it actually. I don't know if I'll put it out or not, but I smoked a dozen eggs on a smoker.
You smoked eggs?
Put eggs straight on the smoker.
Uh-huh.
I got a pellet grill, so over hickory pellets, 225 for 45 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Roll them, 20 more minutes, and then I put them out from there right into ice water, peeled them. Now it's a boiled egg, like a hard boiled egg,
Yeah, I've
but
got
it's
to
smoky.
Okay.
And like even the white part was brown inside because of the smoke.
Was it good?
Yeah,
It was good.
it's absolutely good.
Was it worth doing all that though?
I'll let you know in the second time I do it. I don't like it took a long time,
That's-
but it was so
yeah.
easy.
Okay.
And you get a little smoke flavor. And now I made egg salad with it,
Mhm.
which is my first time doing egg salad. But it got gobbled up like within a day.
Oh, I like egg
everybody
salad.
wore 'em out. Yeah, everybody that tried it
I
loved
like
it.
boiled eggs. I like scrambled eggs. How do you like your eggs?
Like I like mine over easy. I like that sucker running.
I do like runny eggs. My son likes runny eggs. My daughter says she likes runny eggs, but when I make it for her, she's only 3, so she's like, I don't like these.
She might like creamy, not
Yeah.
runny.
My wife likes scrambled eggs or fried eggs. Fried eggs just being you
Cooked all the way.
you break up the middle a little bit, but cooked all the way in. Yeah. So and that's the other reason why we got chickens was my wife wanted more organic eggs and crazy. There was an egg shortage. Scratch your head. I don't know why. I've got my thoughts, but during that time, my son was we were going to Africa, and he was going to go with us on this trip, and we were excited about that. But anytime that growing up for myself, if I ever went on a mission trip, I always fundraised for my mission trip, and so that's something I wanted to instill in him was just because we can pay for it. We want you to learn from this. Of like,
Absolutely.
there's other people that want to be a part of your journey that can't go, but they want to help, whether that's prayer, financially, whatever it may be. And so what we ended up doing was we said, hey, how about you sell eggs, and we'll do like $3 a dozen, and it's for your mission trip, so people might give a little bit more for that.
Yeah.
And it gave him some ownership. So that was actually one way that we were able to help fund his trip was through the egg production that we had. And that was, I mean, people, when a 9-year-old walks up to you and is like, do you want to buy some eggs? I mean, you're probably going to, buy some eggs from him. So
Yeah.
it did work out well with that. But, the other side of the conversation about chickens is we want to do meat chickens. and this is something that I talked to you about because we're going to do it on our property. I'm going to build a tractor to move them around, and and yeah. So I asked you about it, and you said I don't. No, we don't want to be a part of that. And you said because of dark meat, but I think ultimately it's because they don't fly good, and you're scared of these chickens,
So
bro.
we may be interested if you're
Oh,
not got
now
started.
we're interested. Okay, I love
But
this
I would
because
think,
we talked about we're gonna get them. We are gonna get them with or without you. And the problem
so
is like we're gonna do it, and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, look at them, they're doing it. We want to be a part of it, but because we're gonna do it, but we're also gonna process them ourselves.
that's the part I think well, two parts.
That's what you don't want to be a
we
part
don't,
of.
we don't, I mean,
Make a party out of it, bro.
like a,
Get some streamers.
like a
Get
plucking party
yeah,
or what?
plucking party. A plucking party.
But so our
Bro,
last,
we're gonna have a plucking party. Yeah.
well, on Yellowstone, they had a branding party when they branded the calves, plucking party. And
You're invited
and
to
you're-
the plucking party.
and
yeah.
and you're gonna be head of
Head of-
sacrificing with a dull.
Yeah. You know that's the thing that they have these cones that I mean you can make them out of anything, but like they're called killing cones, and yeah, so yeah, I've seen videos, I've researched it.
Why don't they
it's
just
something-
ring them? Like my grandmother used to. I wouldn't lie. But
I've got bad stories about ringing.
yeah, like
I
it don't get always.
I
Yeah.
tried to be very humane with one chicken, and it was the one that was paralyzed, and
And
we
you're
had to
just-
take care of.
no.
And I tried, and maybe it's me.
You gotta have the right.
Well, the flick of
It's-
the wrist. It's the flick of the wrist, and let's just say it ended with a shovel.
Oh.
And well, of course they all end with a shovel, right? Because you're gonna bury them or
No.
you're gonna- whatever.
No, that's not how we get rid of ours.
You burn your chickens.
Well, we always have a burn pile because we always have timber that's fallen, and so you got this spot, and so we got one way off on the other end of the property, and it's just easier. Like if my dog brings a dead possum,
Yeah.
like it's just easier. I'm like,
so
I tell my 14-year-old, I'm like, get on a golf cart and take this over there and throw it in that burn pile.
Yeah.
So it's just easy.
well, we care about our chickens, and so we care, unlike you.
You want to be buried. It's just the
I
difference
don't
between
fault-
burial and it being.
I don't fault them for being bad flyers. The fact that you just
I'm cremating them and you're burying them. It's just a
you we want to give our kids an opportunity to say goodbye, and be able to go and
they're going to have plenty of opportunity farming these animals. I can promise you. Mine don't even. I don't know. My kid's like my 14-year-old. She's like her dog got hit by the train.
yeah.
And they were like, I wasn't at home. Smartphones. She sends me a picture
Oh no.
and like the head separated.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, oh no, I'm at work, and I'm like, oh crap, and I'm thinking she's all tore up, and I
Yeah.
call her and I said, what happened? She's like, ammo got hit by a train, and I said, are you okay? She goes, well, yeah, what? I mean, and I was like, well, your dog got hit, and she was like, well, things die.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
just-
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it
my
just,
I would say my 3-year-old and my 10-year-old know about death.
Yeah.
Like they know, oh, they died, or whatever. Like, and I get that. I understand sheltering kids if they don't fully understand it. And we try to make sure we explain it in a way where it's healthy,
right.
and it's not like your parents are a serial killer and we're trying to make it normal. That's not it. But like, when we're gonna experience that.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I know you already have, but like with our farm, we are going to experience.
I mean, I
death
think it's
and-
good for. Now, I want to back up just a minute. I don't want to paint my daughter into a.
No, yeah, I know you're not.
This was an outside farm dog. He would.
yeah.
It's not the one that goes with her constantly on her horses and sleeps
Yeah.
in the bed with her at night. She's lost those too, and it's a totally
She's not
different thing. We
cold.
bury those. I mean, it's
Yeah, I get that.
That's more the pet. So I'm just saying, like the farm, and he was a dog, and he was more like the farm dog. He ran at night loose and did his thing and
Yeah.
protected the flock and tried to beat the train, I guess. So
Didn't beat
happen.
the train.
no,
Man, if he had wings, he could have.
I don't know. They say they get down any animals. If you live by a railroad track, be very cautious. Because
Yeah.
any animal that gets on there and the train blows, they don't just go, oh, I can just step to the side. No,
Yeah.
they run away from it right down the track.
Right down the track, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bad deal. So we always, are extra cautious of that, which we're kind of blessed that we don't have green grass between the train and our property. It's
Yeah.
like, you'd think it'd be worse because we're right on the train track.
Yeah.
But there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So our animals don't even want to get
Gotcha.
out over there. So that's kind of a blessing there. So.
Well,
But
we
anyway-
may do meat chickens then. Like,
So I was thinking. So our last episode was on soil.
yeah.
So I listened to. I mean, I listen to other people's podcasts too. I want to learn.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about the soil. It was actually a farmer in Tennessee, and she would run her cows, and then she would run sheep in behind that. Then she'd run her horses because she said they'll finish the grass down to the dirt, and then she would run in. I don't remember if that was the same one or not. Anyway, run chickens in because they would drop all their poops high in nitrogen. So they would go in and peck all the poop piles
Yeah.
and go through there and eat the bugs that are on the poop piles and drop nitrogen. And then that would stay. It would rest.
Yeah.
And grow grass back. And then she'd rotate back in. I thought, man, that's a great idea. We've talked about doing that with pigs, running them in last because they're going to root everything up,
Yep.
bust up the poop piles, and manure piles. I'm sorry. And
People will be
till the
offended.
ground up a little bit.
Yeah, you
and
got to
then,
use the right terminology.
Yeah, I know. So I was talking to a guy yesterday. I had to order a harness for that Percheon to pull this wagon with. And I kept calling it like a poop bag,
Yeah.
And he goes, manure bag. And I was
Okay.
like, oh, okay, sorry.
I thought you were going to say satchel, like manure satchel.
Yeah, well.
Well, so it sounds like through this conversation, we might have agreed on potentially doing meat chickens together.
If we did them at the farm, you run that tractor over.
Yeah.
Right over.
Oh,
you
easy.
Move the one animal out.
Yeah.
And run them in, let them help. Because that's one of the things
Yeah.
that the soil lacked was nitrogen. So it could just be an organic thing. It may not, maybe we start at your place. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying,
Well, I think we start with
I thought you'd already started. So I
Well-
hadn't said anything about it because I'm like, he'll be like, oh, now that I've got it, he wants to jump back in. But no, I mean, if you're not started,
I should have
I
started.
think that's something we could talk about.
Just
Let's say
another
that.
thing, once again, that we should have already had going that I just haven't built the tractor for. Like, I haven't done the coop. I haven't done that yet.
That
so
may be a God thing. Like it sometimes.
Maybe.
Sometimes he holds you up because we want to run, over here. So
that's true. I mean, but meat chickens in the future. But I will say I do like the eggs. I do like the fact that we do receive eggs. But with chickens, it was the gateway into wanting to go farther into farming. So if you have chickens, you probably have that urge of wanting to do something and go for it. But I mean, you could sell your eggs so many different ways. You could sell your eggs and things like that. So it's a great product
absolutely,
as well, not just for meat, but also for the eggs.
it is a gateway for sure.
Yeah, even for the kids to do that. But yeah, that's our conversation today.
Yeah, I don't know what else we got. We could probably tell more stories.
Oh, I've
but
got more stories, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I can't beat the fact that you have a bad flyer phobia.
You
that's
didn't know
what
that
it
about
is.
me. You've known me this long and you didn't know that. Dustin knows it at church, and he's thrown bats at me at church. You didn't caught on to all that.
The problem I have is it's you're discriminating against bad flyers. Like it's not just bats, or if you're a bad flyer, I don't like you.
I'm at least I'm honest. Like I tell you if I don't like you. It's like when the new pastor came, and when he was a youth pastor, and like 2 weeks later, he walks up to my wife and he says, "I don't think John likes me," and she says, "Why?" Because he picks on me all the time.
Yeah.
He said, "No, if he didn't like you, you'd know it. It'd either
Yeah.
not talk to you or he'd tell you."
Okay.
So,
Well, you're honest at the end of the day. Well,
bluntly.
Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Like, subscribe, share the post, and all of that.
Absolutely. We need that to keep going. Otherwise, we're just talking to each other.
Talking about bad flyers.
Yeah.
Talking about.
And this guy making fun of me all the time.
I'm not making fun of him.
I've started something. I meant to keep it from you, but I just got to be honest with you, buddy. So I'm scared of bad flyers. So if it's chickens, you got to handle it.
I'm fine with that. That's perfectly fine. But hey, listen, tune in. We have some really cool things coming up with guests on the show as well. So we're going to bring in some people to help teach us because we only know so much and we want to learn.
That's not much.
That's not much, but I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Local Farmer Podcast.